Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 review. Is it worth $2,000? The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is a remarkable device that has captured my attention over the past week. It's hard to find new ways to express just how impressive it is. While it may not be a necessity or a revolutionary gadget, it certainly has its charm. To say it's merely nice would be an understatement. Samsung has joined the ranks of other innovative brands like Honor and Oppo, creating a foldable phone that is nearly as slim as a traditional smartphone. This trend brings tangible advantages. When compared to the previous 6 iterations of Samsung's foldable phones, the Z Fold 7's inner display feels like an added bonus, one that doesn't force you to compromise on carrying a larger, bulkier device. It's sleek, it exudes luxury, and yes, it comes with a hefty price tag of $2,000. So how do you determine if the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is the right fit for you? If the size and weight of earlier foldable models have held you back, this could be the phone you've been waiting for, assuming, of course, you have a couple of grand to spare. Price $2,000. The good asterisk. Exceptionally slim and lightweight for a foldable device. Battery life that lasts all day with moderate usage. The outer display finally feels like a standard smartphone screen. The bad asterisk. The price tag of $2,000 is hard to overlook. Concerns about durability remain. The camera bump causes the phone to wobble when placed on a flat surface. Writing a review for the Fold 7 feels like discussing two distinct devices, one that you interact with when the phone is closed and another that you experience when it's open. The outer display has received a significant upgrade this year, featuring a standard 21:9 aspect ratio. Previous models had outer screens that were longer and narrower than typical smartphones, which made typing a bit awkward. With the Z Fold 7 closed, I often forget I'm using a foldable phone. In terms of functionality, it operates just like a conventional smartphone, except in a few extreme scenarios. For a foldable device, that's a significant achievement. However, the Z Fold 7 does face a challenge. Its outer screen is a 6.5-inch 1080p display that doesn't quite match the sharpness or brightness of the outstanding screen found on the much more affordable Galaxy S25 Ultra. This was a recurring thought during my time with the Z Fold 7. While it's a unique device overall, many of its individual features don't quite measure up to the best traditional smartphones. When it comes to battery life, non-foldable phones generally perform better, but the difference isn't as significant as I had anticipated. The amount of time spent using the inner screen greatly influences battery performance. I managed to get through a day of moderate use, including some time on the inner display, with about 50% battery remaining. However, after more extensive use of the inner screen, and about an hour of hotspot activity, I found myself down to around 30% by bedtime. While no one buys a foldable phone for its energy efficiency, I believe these results are quite satisfactory. Once I opened the inner screen, any minor shortcomings quickly faded from my mind. I found myself forgetting that the inner display was even there, but I soon developed a habit of utilizing it. Imagine how convenient it is to browse Chrome on your phone with regular tabs displayed at the top of the screen. Or how much easier it is to play a game like Diablo Immortal on a larger display. It's incredibly useful to keep the Uber app open on one side of the screen while you finish a Sudoku puzzle on the other half. The more I used the inner screen, the more I discovered new ways to take advantage of it. While none of these features are exclusive to the Fold 7, I can't stress enough how it feels like you're getting away with something special. Using this phone while it's closed feels completely normal, no more bulky brick in my yoga pants pocket. One minor complaint is that it feels a bit stiff when opening the phone. A case could help with that. Overall, a slimmer, lighter, and well-proportioned foldable truly changes the game. Now for some less favorable news. I'm not usually one to fuss over the appearance of a camera bump, but this one sticks out quite a bit. It causes the phone to sit unevenly on surfaces and wobbles when you tap the screen, which makes you want to place it screen side down on a table. While this can reduce distractions from notifications, it also poses a risk of the phone sliding off the edge of a surface, like a bathtub. Thankfully, there wasn't any water in the tub when that happened, but it was still a close call. The wobbling can be bothersome. I often have to prop it up on coasters when using it on my dining table. Samsung's silicone grip case seems to help mitigate this issue, but stand cases don't resolve it. A case feels almost necessary here, and I say that as someone who typically dislikes cases, but they are slim enough that they don't completely negate the advantages of a lightweight foldable. The Fold 7 is powered by a Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset specifically tuned for Samsung, along with 12 GB of RAM in the 256 GB model I tested. It performs admirably, and I encountered no issues running Diablo Immortal at the highest settings. The phone didn't even heat up significantly. However, during a bit of a stress test, using it as a hotspot on a sunny coffee shop patio on a warm afternoon, the Z Fold 7 did get quite warm. I placed it in direct sunlight, which is not advisable, and it began closing apps after about 10 minutes to cool down. While this is an extreme scenario, it's good to know if you live in a hot climate. Another important consideration is dust resistance. The Z Fold 7 still lacks a formal dust resistance rating. Its IP48 rating means it is fully water resistant, but only offers limited protection against very small particles, not dust. It's wise to handle it with care, and consider Samsung's extended warranty plan to cover the potentially expensive repairs for the inner screen. The Z Fold 7 features a 200-megapixel camera adapted from the S25 Ultra, and it performs excellently, just like its counterpart. Low-light photos are detailed, provided your subject remains relatively still, and Samsung's signature vibrant reds and blues are prominently displayed. Additionally, it includes a 10-megapixel 3x telephoto lens and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, both of which perform well if you don't push them too hard. However, digital zoom beyond 5x from the telephoto lens can result in a somewhat blurry image. Nevertheless, Samsung's portrait mode with the 3x camera continues to be the best in the industry, with segmentation so precise that it can isolate a subject down to the eyelashes. When comparing the Z Fold 7 to a high-end slab phone like the S25 Ultra on a feature-by-feature basis, the foldable often falls short. It's less durable, the battery life isn't quite as impressive, and the camera system lacks versatility. However, this perspective misses the essence of the Z Fold 7. This phone is a luxury item and a feat of engineering. If you have the financial means and an open mind to appreciate the advantages of a larger screen, I believe you'll agree with me, it's simply delightful. Photography by Alison Johnson / The Verge. Agree to continue, Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. In today's world, every smart device requires you to agree to a series of terms and conditions before you can start using it, contracts that most people don't actually read. It's impossible for us to thoroughly read and analyze every single one of these agreements. However, we began counting how many times you need to hit agree to use devices when we review them, as these are agreements that most individuals overlook and cannot negotiate. To use the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, you must agree to Samsung's terms and conditions, Samsung's privacy policy, Google's terms of service, including privacy policy, Google Play's terms of service, automatic installations including from Google, Samsung, and your carrier. There are also numerous optional agreements. If you have a carrier-specific version, there will be even more. Here are just a few examples. Sending diagnostic data to Samsung. Samsung services including auto blocker, customization service, continuity service, nearby device scanning, personal data intelligence, and smart suggestions. Google Drive backup, location services, Wi-Fi scanning, diagnostic data. Bixby privacy policy, required to use Bixby, plus optional settings for Bixby such as personalized content, data access, and audio recording review. There may be additional agreements as well. For instance, Samsung's Weather app has its own privacy policy that may involve sharing information with weather.com. Final tally *, there are 5 mandatory agreements, and at least 10 optional ones.